Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Eddie Ohanian, Educational Director from HTB Beauty. With us today, we have Bernard, a very special guest with us, who's going to be talking to us about all the awareness and how to be a participating member in our Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Bernard, good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. You're so serious today.
Very, very serious today. It's for the cause. It's for the cause. I want you to take a couple of minutes, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to our audience, to the people watching, and let them know who you are, which company and brands you represent, and
I feel like I'm at a party,
right.
and I have to say who I am. And I know my wife's in the background judging me because she doesn't like it when I under introduce myself and say I'm just a stylist, and she doesn't like it when I over introduce myself and say something like I own all these companies and do all this stuff. So it's difficult because I guess it depends on what arena I'm in. I am a stylist. I'm just a dad, a husband, and I have fun with my hobbies in life. But one of my greatest hobbies is helping hairdressers navigate how to make money in this industry, because I didn't get it in the beginning. So I became a stylist. It was so confusing. I owned a salon, still own the salon. Then I became a distributor of hair extensions. Along the way, I'm learning how to do hair replacement. So I become a distributor of some hair replacement techniques. And then you and I kind of started the Profitable Stylist together. We help hairdressers be more profitable because that's a passion of mine. And we do YouTube videos, but that also kind of markets and advertises the online education that we have through the Teachable Academy, Profitable Stylist Teachable Academy. So those are all the things I do and I'm a part of. But when you say, who are you? I'm just Bernard.
You're just Bernard. And that's why we love you. You know, we've known you very, very well, but we want to introduce you to the audience that are going to be watching this. The whole purpose of what we're accomplishing this month is to bring awareness, to expand the scope of all the awareness, but to let people know that you can also participate. You shouldn't just only be aware. So I know you guys in particular do a lot around services that help, especially women going through breast cancer.
Well, one of the fortunate things for us is that our salon just happens to be local. Now, listen, our salon was here first. There was this empty lot across the street. There was a hospital. There is and always was a hospital, I don't know, a block and a half from us. But that hospital bought the land and built a couple of medical facilities right across this highway from us. And one is the cancer research, cancer treatment facility. So everybody that turns right into that place or is leaving that place sees our salon, and they see that we have wigs and hair replacement and are a salon. So we get to, and for a long time were recommended even before they were there, we get to see a lot of people that are going through different phases, aspects of all sorts of cancer, breast cancer being a large one. And hair loss, unfortunately, comes along with this pretty often, not 100% of the time, but a large percentage of the time. So we've gotten a lot of experience over the last 35 years of just how to deal with people at different phases, different reasons, different treatment levels. And so the experience is exactly what it's called. It's been over time. You know, I didn't know what to do at first, but through experience, I've learned a lot about it, talking to the clients and helping them get more hair or not, or solving some issues. But we'll get more into those details in a minute.
In a minute, of course. You know, you're very humble about your introduction, and you're very humble about what you guys do at the salon. But you guys do have a very, I have to brag for you. You guys have a very specialized type of services in the way of hair replacement. You mentioned the wigs, hair extensions as well. You yourself travel the country helping people educate and know what are different options. And then on our YouTube channel for the Profitable Stylist, we speak about hair extensions and helping people regain their hair in multiple different ways. Can you speak to that a little bit more in detail?
Which part of it do you think you'd like to hear most about first?
You know, because I want to get into more of a discussion about options for women that are going through breast cancer. So is it more the wigs and the hair replacement would be more appropriate, or is it equally balanced hair extensions?
Yeah. So we do a lot, and that can be good or bad. You know, I always kind of criticize hairdressers that only sell the thing they know how to do, because it's all they know how to do. If you come in, you have a hair loss problem, and they sell you extensions, but you're thin up here, it's all they know how to do. And it's probably what I did at one point in the beginning. And so now it's difficult in some ways because we do so much. Now it's like, what do we recommend? Because sometimes more than one option can be the right option. And how do you decide between those? So in some ways, I like that we do hair replacement in a few forms and hair extensions. We do non-surgical. We do some techniques that we would actually shave the hair off. Some are no shave techniques. And more common than anything, when somebody comes in, it's one of our least expensive options, which is interesting because I have people come in and they'll know ahead of time, and that's the better ones too. They come in and they're sad and they say, I or my mom or my aunt or my friend or myself is getting ready to go through this treatment, and I'm most likely going to lose my hair, but I wanted you to see it before we got started. What do you think? I said, what do I think? They want me to see what it looks like now, so we can get something that'll look like their hair does now, which is a smart option. So that would be like my first advice if we're going to talk about this is, if you know ahead of time, go see somebody that's a specialist in the hair replacement area so they can see, or at least take pictures of yourself, of how you like your hair now, so you can kind of copy that. And then the thing that I think people are most shocked with, and this isn't 100% of the time, but often I'm recommending a synthetic wig, and people are like, it's almost the first thing they're thinking is, especially the loved ones, whatever it takes, we'll pay whatever it takes. We want the best option available. We want 100% human hair. We want, and they think they know the best option is 100% human hair because it's what we have on our head. And I said, well, there's some things you're not thinking about. First of all, especially down south in this humidity, human hair is difficult. It always starts to look frizzy unless you put some product in it. That humidity wets the hair and it falls or it frizzes. And so human hair is difficult to style, and you got to keep up with it. And if you just had a lot of the surgeries that have to do with this part of the body, especially in the breast cancer area, it deals with the muscles in the chest and shoulder area. Lifting your arms is not something you can do for a few weeks or months sometimes. And so styling hair is not an easy thing to do. So ironically, human hair is the worst choice because it takes the most work. So synthetic is way better than you might think it is. And now there's some terrible looking synthetic wigs, but there's high heat fibers. There's high end synthetic fibers that I can't even tell. I have to look at the tag and say, God, I don't even know if this is human or synthetic. So if we can't tell a stylist, nobody else is going to know either. So that's the start of it. But the reason why a lot of people think they don't want a wig is they still think of grandma's wig. And grandma's wig, no matter how long or how it was styled, at the base, the material that it held on your head, it was made, I mean, we call it a flower cap. It's got these flowery designs in the cap, and then it doesn't look real. And the base of it is made with wefts. So there's wefts sewn to that base, even across the top. And the way they try to hide those base and wefts materials, they're real close to the base, is they put these short curly hairs in there. Now, this was in a time and place where most ladies were doing a lot of teasing, and they were teasing to look like they had a thicker, fuller base because they wanted a bigger hairstyle, right? Well, that spilled over into an age where we didn't want those bigger styles, but the wig makers in other countries were still making them with this, we call it a wiggy base, a wig puffy base, and putting straighter, smoother, trying to flatten the hair out, but you still had that weird looking short curly hair at the base. Well, they don't all come like that anymore. So that's where the difference is. Human synthetic, that's not the big deal. It's the base material and the base puffy hairs. So by taking this base now And then there's different levels. The very first next step level is they'll replace this section of the base material with some sort of mesh or netting or silicone or polyurethane, more of a skin looking like membrane, and inject one hair at a time, or not one or two or three hairs at a time. And so then when you part the hair, it looks like it's growing right out of the scalp, at least in this area. And then the rest could be stretchy and flowery and wig material without the puffy base. And now it looks more like real hair coming out the scalp. And so that's just the first step. You can get the whole thing made like that. But the reason I mentioned the steps is that the flowery base cap, you can literally get these cheap, not so great looking wigs for under $100, maybe a little over $100. But when they start to get to the point where they have a little bit of skin-like material on top, $200 to $400, you can get a decent looking 100. It looks like 100% human hair, but it's not. It's 100% synthetic. It holds its style because each fiber is kind of made. I mean, think of it like this. It's basically some sort of plastic, right? So it's a long, thin, stringy plastic fiber that looks like hair, holds its style. So once they heat seal that style in, you can literally dunk it underwater, bring it up, shake it, and it goes right back into style. So you don't lose the style. You buy it in the style and shape you like. You can cut it. But then if for some reason you want a more real look on more of it, well, then you can get more lace base, more skin base fit in the whole head, and the price can go up $500, $600, $700, $800. Whereas full human haired systems are usually not less than $1,000, often $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000 for a human haired wig. And I make more money selling human hair. Don't get me wrong. And if somebody absolutely wants human hair, often it has to be custom made. And also, we didn't even talk about this yet, often takes 4 to 6 or 8 weeks to come in.
Oh, wow.
Now we can get human haired wigs. We can get human hair systems that will fit most people, but some people want a specific color, a specific shape. We want to make a template, get it custom made. It takes a month or two to come in. Some of them don't have a month or two first. So you can get human haired wigs and make it work. Then again, I say, why? What is the benefit of human hair? Maybe there's a benefit in a drier climate, and your limitation is not in the chest or shoulder area, and you like style and you like flat iron curling hair. Go for it. Get the human. But I can say 9 times out of 10, I've sold people synthetic, and they are so happy. My own mother lost a lot of her hair a couple of years ago from COVID. She had the thickest hair of anybody I ever knew. It is starting to grow back. She's so happy. We're all so happy. But I got her. Now listen, this is what I recommend. I got her 4 wigs. She's like, I don't know what I want. She knew she got me started in the wig business. So she knew that synthetic had come a long way and it could be a good option, but she didn't know what length she wanted to do. I said, Mom, pick a few colors you like. Let's get a few. I think I got 6 and she kept 4 because they're so cheap. They're a couple $100, So we just got a handful of them. I said, pick 1 or 2. Tell me what you like. And she never gave any back.
Nice.
She kept them all.
It is amazing how technology and medicine has improved over the decades. And it's phenomenal. It's awesome. It's also great to see that a lot of women nowadays are embracing, before it was very embarrassing or it was very scary. It was, it's still a heartfelt moment that you have to lose your hair and lose your identity. But nowadays it is so, the awareness level is so much more higher that now women aren't hiding inside anymore. They're actively participating and going outside and enjoying their life and still living their life while they're still going through the treatments. Mm-hmm. So now you're starting to see a lot of women accessorizing and putting scarves or hats or fun things. And like you're mentioning, they're having fun with their hair as well, getting maybe slightly shorter, slightly longer, maybe slightly darker, slightly lighter for the change of the seasons and such.
Right.
Is that things like that? Is that what you're talking about?
It is. And so you reminded me of something when you started saying accepting it and being more open. So probably should have started with, I think what I talked about is exciting and a good place to start. But I am surprised that the way I accidentally learned as my boldness got stronger through the years, and I'm doing consultations, and not a I don't feel like I'm a very emotional person myself, but when a woman comes in and then she starts to cry, I would get nervous in the beginning. I didn't know what to do. And then I find out the nerves are all about their hair starting to shed. So I started to learn this process. And so now when I get a consultation, I know what's going on in their head. And they come in and I say, what's going on? Well, what are you fearing the most? What do you need? What do you like? And they'll say, I just started chemo or radiation, or I'm starting to lose my hair. I said, is it coming out yet? Yes. I said, listen, it's up to you, but I can tell you how I feel. When you start waking up in the morning and you got handfuls of hair on your pillow, or you pull on your hair and it's coming out and your hair is kind of long, it's devastating. The losing the hair, the falling out, you feel like, I can only imagine, you feel like you're dying right then. That's the feeling of going away. It's the most depressing feeling. And so I don't know if I came up with this, but I said, let's take control. Let's get rid of all that hair right now. And they're like, what? I said, yeah, look how this is affecting you. It's bringing you so down, the hair falling out. It's all going to fall out anyway. So why don't we be proactive, shave your head? It's a way better look than the 20 hairs on it. Because you know what? Often they don't lose 100% of the hair. They just have some. But I got to tell you, a few hundred hairs on the head spread out, real thin looking, looks way worse than a shaved bald head. So just visually, I'm thinking, I had a couple of iconic singers, that Sinead O'Connor, who just happened to shave her head. I think there was a Susan Powder lady, workout lady one time that had a shaved head with shaved. They were very good looking ladies. So it's like, you can be attractive with a shaved head. So why not control it, move forward, take control instead of feeling controlled? I felt like was, and so the empowerment that I gave some people with, listen, I will shave it for free. It's kind of fun shaving heads anyway. So I will do this part for no charge. If you want to take control and get rid of all that hair, I'll shave it for free right now. So I got the reputation in the community, like, go to Bernard. He's got the information. He will at least get you rid of that hair that's just depressing you right now, and make you feel better, and there's no charge. So I thought it was I didn't do it as a marketing ploy, but it kind of turned into marketing, and it ended up doing the right thing. Happens to be the right thing.
You're right.
So doing that, their friends would be taking pictures or videoing it and just saying, or FaceTiming a loved one, and we would shave the head. And yes, it gets a little emotional also, but they feel so much more. I don't even know what the word is, but they feel like they took control of the situation. Not to mention, the wigs and pieces fit on their head better like that too, because it doesn't slip. It sticks to the skin a little bit better. And so now when they get through their treatment and the hair starts to grow back, it all grows back evenly from very short. They'll still wear the wig for quite a while as their hair is growing back underneath. My mom's hair is starting to grow back now. And so some days she wears the wig, sometimes she doesn't, because her hair is about that long, so it's long enough to walk around the house and not feel silly, but not as long as she likes when she goes out to eat dinner or to a party or something. So she'll still pop the wig on, and she can. So you have options, and you can take a little bit of control just to feel better in the moment, because losing your hair is not dying, but it feels like it.
It's the visual realization that this is actually happening. You sit there and you go through the treatments, and the treatments sometimes are painful. Sometimes you get the side effects. Sometimes you have good days. It's a lottery. You don't know what's going to happen the day you go in. You know it's in your body, but you can't see inside your body. But what you can see is right there in front of you. And when you're looking yourself in the mirror, I mean, even on a good day, looking at yourself in the mirror is one of the hardest things we do. So, now you don't feel good and it's starting to fall out. You're really starting to come to the realization that, you think life sucks, but it really doesn't. It's going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. You just have to stay positive, stay focused. And that's amazing. I love that you mentioned that a lot of people are now coming in the beginning when they're going to be first entering into treatment or right in the beginning of treatment. Too many times people wait until, I don't want to say until it's too late, but until it's too far gone where it's too noticeable. So how do you see people's reactions when they initially get through their nervousness? They're committed. Now they want to be proactive. They want to do something about it. Let's talk a little bit about the reactions that you see when they turn around, they look themselves in the mirror, and now they're transformed. They have a full head of hair again.
So most people come in thinking that a wig is going to look fake. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to look real, or it's going to be very expensive. So it's crazy that they even show up, because they're coming in because they feel like they have to. Like, I'm going to lose my hair. I have to do this terrible option, this thing that's going to be too much money and look stupid on me. But I think it looks less stupid than being bald. That's like the majority of the feeling.
Mentality,
and
right?
So it's kind of good, because the first thing they get put on, they're like, oh my God. Yeah. They can't believe how real it looks. And they're like, are you sure this is synthetic? I'm like, I know, right? Well, let me check the tag. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Because we do have a few human hair on the shelf too. And every once in a while, I'm like, no, I'm not sure. Who gave you? Maybe another stylist in the salon started working with them. I walk in late and I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell by just looking at it. It's crazy how good synthetic looks these days. Not all synthetic, just some, and some better synthetics. So let me cover that. The feeling is great, but since I'm saying this, I'll forget it if I don't say it. The thing that makes synthetic hair look fake, we all know our friends or our own daughters who play with baby dolls, or we say doll hair in the industry. We're like, oh, that looks like doll hair. The reason why we say that is I was playing with my little granddaughter the other day, and she had these little My Little Ponies, and they have these rainbow manes, and we were braiding it and stuff, and this stuff glistens so glossy and shiny because it's the lowest end synthetic fiber there is, and it's red, blue, and green, all these colors, and we're braiding it, and I'm thinking this is the original synthetic. It was so shiny. So if you think about it, a synthetic fiber is a plastic fiber that is just, think about it, I used to say it's like round, like a drinking straw, just a lot smaller. It's not hollow in the middle, but it's a flat, smooth surface like a straw. And so the light, like I'm under a bunch of lights to make me look good right now, right? So you can see me on camera. And those lights glare off of a flat, smooth surface more than they do like a little rougher surface like this. And so a human hair has cuticle layer on it, so it's all rough looking and it's a little more dull. Like I have a drier product on my hair, so my hair doesn't look as shiny as yours. You have a glossier product that dries with a smoother coat, and yours looks a little shinier right now. Well, synthetic, if done nothing to, looks shinier, lower end synthetic, because it's flat and smooth. Human hair has that cuticle layer, so the light bounces off in a bunch of different ways and looks a little more of a less shiny surface. Well, the higher end synthetics are made in a way where they rough the surface up. So the old fashioned wigs, my mom used to sell a lot of wig powder. They literally would put powder in their hair and brush it through to dull the surface to make it look more like human hair. Well, these days, the manufacturers are roughing up the surface of the synthetic on the higher end fiber and doing bigger fiber for darker hair, smaller fiber for lighter hair, because lighter hair tends to be a smaller hair. So they're doing things to make the hair look more real. And that's one of the reasons you have higher end synthetic that looks good. So that's the start of it. So when you put this on a person's head, to really answer your question, they don't have high expectations. So it just makes it so much more fun, because they almost feel like they're there against their will. Like, I got to be here. My friend drugged me in here. She knows I'm going through. Because a lot of times they are so depressed, and maybe they have headaches and fatigue from radiation or chemo, and they really don't know how to guide their life for the day because they just don't feel real good. So they often are coming with a friend because they don't want to or can't drive or don't feel like it. So the friends, it makes it even better, because these people don't believe me anyway. I say these people, most people, I'm selling it, right? So most people have this feeling of, yeah, you're trying to sell me. You're going to tell me
you're expected to say nice things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're in the customer service industry. So I'm going to say, you should wear this. Oh, it looks so good on you because you want to make my money. You want to take my money. And they're looking, thinking maybe it looks good too. But the friend is the best support, because sometimes a friend doesn't like it. And that's how you know they're telling the truth, because they'll say it's too long, it's too short, it's the wrong color, or nope, wig just doesn't look good on you. But that is super, super rare. Often they and the friend, you are welcome to pass through here. They often are so shocked at how real it looks, even like right here, because it's laced right across there and it might be pushed back or feathered or whatever. It's already styled, it's dried, it's styled, it fits really good. They are surprised at how comfortable it is on their head. They said, I thought it would feel tight, I thought it would be itchy, I thought it'd be uncomfortable. I can't believe how light this feels. And then the friend says, I can't believe how real it looks. And then they're looking and getting another mirror so they can see the back of their head, you know, and they're like, this is crazy. How much is this? And I don't know, $300. They're like, that's all? Give me two. I said, yeah, you know what? We haven't talked about that yet. Often getting multiples is a good idea, because the wig doesn't get as dirty as your hair does over time, because most people's hair is connected to their scalp. Everybody's hair is connected to their scalp. There's sweat and oil coming out, lubricating and dirtying every single hair on your head. And that's why we shampoo our hair and condition to clean it. Well, a wig, the base of the material is what's getting dirtier than the hair. The hairs get a little bit of dust settling on it that could be brushed out, shaken out, sure, rinsed. But eventually, over a few days, depending on how often you're wearing it, the base material is going to get some sweat and oil on it that should be washed out. And so if you're going to wash it, it's better let it air dry. You could do it overnight. But if you have a second or a third wig, it's good to have a second option so that you can let that first one soak for a couple of hours or half hour, whatever, in some soapy water. Take it out, rinse it, towel dry it, put it on your mannequin stand or some sort of wig stand, and just shake the water out. Just damp towel, blot it with a towel, and then put it on there and kind of brush through the tangles, and you can just kind of shake it on the stand, and that hair will just go where it's supposed to go. Maybe you direction it a little bit in the front, but let it air dry. There's no, because that is something we should go into, is care and maintenance. So you want to ask?
That's what I was going to ask you about too. Yeah. You know, getting a couple of them is a great idea. I love your suggestions there. Is it something with maintenance, the person has the option to come into the salon and have you help them out with it? Is it something they get to do at home? Is there, you know, like there's so many different available options. And I think a little bit of, I don't know, is it all of the above? Like, how does that work?
It is. And I'll tell you, we got a lady, Michelle, that used to work with my mom. And so when I took over the wig shop, she's still with us, and she still does a lot of scenarios. I'm going to tell you one of the older fashioned scenarios. And then there's everything in between. You can do everything yourself, or we can do everything. Some of these older ladies that wear nothing but wigs every day have 4 to 6 wigs, all identical. And they will wear one for multiple days. Some people wear one on Monday, a different one on Tuesday, wear a different one every day. But most people wear one for a few days to a week or two. Then they put it on the side. Then they wear their second one for a week or two. Then they put it on the side. And then they might bring Michelle 4 or 5 of them to style. She will shampoo, rinse, clean, style. Sometimes over time, because synthetic, being a plastic fiber, over time, the very, very little ends can get a little frizzy over some time. Now, this usually comes from heat, blow dryer heat, curling iron heat, things you should not be putting on them anyway. That's the downside of a wig or synthetic hair. It can't take the same amount of heat that human hair can take. So you do have to be a little more careful when you're getting around hot things. And the things that really affect is most of the time is the oven or a barbecue pit. Okay. Because you can open a barbecue pit and a little bit of heat will come out, or open an oven or this way. And that heat that comes out is a little more than your wig can take, but your face can take it. Like you would be like, whoa, a tiny bit more of my eyebrows might've got singed. Well, and some people do singe their eyebrows or some facial hair or their bangs, but human hair can take a little more heat than synthetic hair can. So when you open that oven and you're right there, and your bangs are too close to the heat where your hair did not get singed here, but this might have shriveled up a little bit, and the ends, they just draw in and get real kinky curly, just a tip of the hair. So for the most part, your hair looks good, but you got a weird little frizzy look. Well, we can take most of that out if you didn't go too far. We can take it out with steam. And so we'll wrap it on rollers and steam it, and it'll take that frizzy end and just lay it back open. It'll just smooth back out. And when we're doing that, depending on the experience of the stylist, you can also, good or bad, change the whole style of the synthetic hair. So as you're doing this, some stylists are just trying to change the ends back to flat and smooth, but the steam's getting near the base and laying it flatter than it used to be, or making it fluffier than it used to be. So it takes some skill and experience, and putting the whole wig in rollers that gives it the style and the direction that you want, and steaming the whole thing, just like you steam a dress or a shirt. You just put that steam on there, and when the steam hits that fiber, you can see it just hug the roller that you have it on. And so it will be so true to rod size, and it'll hold that curl for a while, whether it's wet or dry. So we'll do that. We'll get 4 or 5 of the same wig all rolled up the same way in some rollers, and then steam them all. And so then those wigs are going to be good to wear again for a few months or years, depending on how they take care of it. So as long as they're not getting any excessive heat, they can last a very long time. And the color stays better than human hair. Now, the downside is once the color starts to fade, there's no way of recoloring synthetic hair. It's gone. Human hair can be recolored, but it does take away quality, right? So hair can get damaged with chemicals over time, and it gets a little more tangly. It starts to fade faster. So you've got this give and take. Synthetic's going to last way longer, like a year or 2 or 3 before it's fading. And human hairs, it's like within months, you're going to start to see some fading. You're almost always going to have to color, highlight, or low light within the first year, at least once, if not twice. So you've got these trade-offs, and so there's a lot of benefits to synthetic these days. Heat is one of the biggest non-benefits.
No, that's amazing. How long okay, so you mentioned cleaning usually takes about a day. So then when they come into the salon, what does that appointment look like? Can you walk us through a little bit of what the expectation is for the client?
So the interesting thing about a wig is it's not connected to your head. So there's not too much of a coming into the salon. It's really like your stylist can be completely busy with other clients, and you're just dropping them off.
Nice. So there is that convenience of time as well. Okay.
So that's a super convenient thing to think about. You're getting your hair styled while you're not there. So most people don't do this. Most people buy one, make sure they like it, maybe 2. And then at home, they're just going to dip it in some sort of Tupperware hospital pan that fits in the sink. You fill it up with water, put some shampoo in there. There's wig shampoos that are just better for wigs. You just kind of dip in it because you don't want to try to tangle it. It's not really that dirty. You're just trying to kind of rinse it off with a little soap water, then rinse it with clear water, towel, dry it, put it on your wig stand, let it dry, and let it sit overnight, and it's good to wear the next day. That's if you own one. If you own 2, you're doing a similar thing, and you're just rotating them. And if for some reason you heat one up and get it a little fried on the ends, well, maybe you're going to get 1 or 2 repaired. But then if you become a professional wig wearer and you're just wearing them all the time and you're loving a certain cut, color, and style, you might order a few. You might be worried they're going to discontinue your style, And so you get a few so that you can last 4 or 5 years with the same style, cut, color, and you don't want to clean it at home. So you just bring in 1 or 2 or 3, or like this lady does, 5. That was the extreme, Most people probably do it all themselves. Some people get somebody else do it all. And then there's a lot of in between. So you can just have 2, drop 1 off at the wig shop, ask them if they can clean and style it, and then pick it up in a day or 2 or next week. Doesn't matter. You got your one you're going to be wearing. So you can just be alternating the 2. So there's just a lot of options. You rarely sit and wait for it while you're there. You just drop it off and pick it up.
I mean, and this just goes to, show how the technology has improved, how the services, how much they've improved. It's really, really amazing how many options are now available these days. In the month of October, especially, I mean, we do this year round, but especially in the month of October, seeing as that's the official Breast Cancer Awareness Month, there's a lot of fundraising being done, and people are trying to raise monies for charities and to help promote. They do walks and they do bake sales. You know, they have special events and gatherings and things like that. We've done similar things with hair extensions in the past, where we've done pink hair. Come in, get some pink hair extensions put in, donate some monies. Talk a little bit about how the environment of that looks in those days when we're doing those events.
Yeah. So guide me if you don't agree with any of this. We used to be the only one that I knew of. We started Pink Hair for Hope way back in the day,
Yeah.
And then soon after, you saw so many pink things in every arena. Everything from the NFL doing pink shoes, pink footballs, pink everything, pink basketballs. And so, so much pink. And I think it's a great thing. But at one point, we used to have to either be the 501(c) or find one to give money to. And you don't need to trust us to give the money somewhere. We can just be the pink hair provider, but you can get pink hair from a lot of different companies. You can either buy pink hair from us, buy pink hair from the company you're with, color people's hair pink. I think the thing that Eddie's mostly trying to say is, don't just say, "Oh, good job, guys," or just watch from the sidelines. Be a part of the action somehow. If everybody has a cancer center in your area, go there and say, "I want to help raise money for you guys. I'm doing something at the salon," whatever you decide to do. Do you have a way that I can give money? Do you have a nonprofit that helps? And they're like, "Yes, we do." They all have it, or they can guide you. So find the local people that will take that money. Then you can use their logo, their branding, marketing. They'll even probably help you advertise it a little bit, and then do whatever. You can do like a cut-a-thon. You can do haircuts for free on a Sunday when you're not normally open and donate all that money. I know I used to do Locks of Love. We used to do free haircuts to donate money to a cause. This one was a different cause. It was kids that need wigs, but it can be for breast cancer awareness. It can be, it doesn't have to be just pink hair or pink strands. It can be anything that raises money, from cutting to coloring to pink hair to any color. Come get any fantasy color you want. And we're charging more than usual. We're taking a $10, $20 donation per strand to go towards breast cancer awareness. People are happy to come in and get their cut, their color, their individual strand, their blue, purple, green. I know we marketed pink, but the bottom line is they just need more money to help the cause. So it can be any color.
Yeah, to help the cause with research and with equipment, with other services that they need to provide to patients. I mean, it sounds like, oh, you're just throwing money out there, but you're really not. It is helping. On other ways that you can help too is in your local community. Your neighbor down the street or one of your own family members is going through this. You can hang out with them, spend time with them, do a barbecue, invite the block, have a block party. There are so many different ways that everybody can participate in bringing awareness, and don't just say, "Oh yeah, that's right, I need to get a ribbon just so I can show I did something," and then that's it, check out for the rest of the month.
Right.
Be active. It's not only going to hit your mother or your grandmother anymore these days. It unfortunately can hit anybody anywhere at any age. But if you catch it fast enough, soon enough, if you talk to your clients, if you talk to your friends, if you talk to your loved ones and say, "When's the last time you went and got a check?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't need a check." It's like, no, you need to push them, go with them, spend the day with them. Donating time, in my opinion, sometimes donating time is a lot more valuable than donating the actual monies themselves. The monies help. They always help. But donating time is huge. is absolutely huge.
So let me touch on a subject that most people don't want to talk about.
Hmm.
It's good for your business too. It's marketing. I
Okay.
mean, people don't want to admit this, but doing something for the right reason shows people in the community that you're a nice person, a good person. You will get people in your business for that good cause that would have never come for another reason. And then while they're there, you're talking to them and they're like, "Oh, wow, I didn't even know you were here. I came because of blah blah blah. But I think we'll come here and get our hair cut or our hair colored or our hair styled or our extensions or our hair replacement now." So it seems like a selfish thing. It's just a side benefit. It's also good for business. It's just good for your personal life. It makes you feel better. You feel like you did the right thing and you do better because of it. But that's why you do better, because you're doing the right thing. So you benefit in so many more ways than you can even imagine.
It's good karma. That's true. And that's the whole thing. If you're just aware that this exists and you're just expecting the next person to do something about it, that doesn't make you a bad person, but you're just aware of it. When you're
Right.
participating, when you're actively participating, yeah, good things come to those who do good things. It's good karma all the way around.
So you know what that makes me think about? You want to do something, but I'm just like having a premonition.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about myself at different ages in my life. And so let me just go back to an age where this would be my mindset. I want to do something. I have no idea what to do. I have no organizational skills. I have no money. All I have is time. That boss isn't going to let me do this thing I want to do. They're not like going to let me open a salon on a day off to organize this. I've already talked to him or her and they don't want to do it. But you know what? Maybe there's another event in town that's happening that you can go be a part of. That's what I did with the Locks of Love for many years. They put it together in a local mall and hairdressers from multiple salons. We went and were a part of it. So all I had to do was go there and cut hair for the day and wear a special t-shirt that promoted the event. And I got to keep the shirt. So I made a t-shirt out of it. There was no tipping because the tips, the money, it all went to the
Donation.
cause.
Yeah.
But it was easy. I gave up a day. Actually, it wasn't even a day. I think they scheduled us in 2-hour blocks. You could stay all day if you wanted, but all they asked was for you to come on this one day and spend 2 hours. So hairdressers were coming at 8 in the morning. They were doing 8 to 10. Some were doing 10 to 12. Some were doing 2 to 4. I think it ended at 6, you know? And so you would have 20 or 30 stylists all scheduled during these 20, 30 blocks in a big old section, just cutting hair all day and lines, and people were collecting money. And then I adding colorful strands. I donated to colorful strands and we put some she hair keratin bonds in people's heads for money just to jazz it up a little. I got tired of just doing the haircuts. You know, we didn't have shampoo bowls, we didn't have blow dryers and curling tools. It was just a spray with a water bottle and then cut it. And so I was like, oh, I hate not being able to see the style after I cut it. But that was the promotion. So we did it. And I said, what about if we brought hair extensions? She goes, you bring the hair and the machines and you put them in and the money's going to the cause. That'd be great. So that was fun because the kids loved all the different colors. So we brought a little extra element to it, but I didn't have to organize or market the event. All I had to do was show up if I wanted. And there are going to be those causes in your town that you can just show up for. And you don't have to be the organizer or the brains behind the operation.
Right. You just in participating. We need people to help. And that's really what it comes down to. How does somebody reach out to you guys and schedule an appointment for a consultation?
For what? Yeah. So two things. We're so local. I guess I could just give the OnStage Hair Studio. It makes it kind of easy because I ended up naming one of our bigger extension brands after the salon. Also, OnStage, 2 words, OnStage, 2 more words, Hair Studio in Slidell, Louisiana, near New Orleans. So if you just Googled OnStage Hair Studio, you'd find us at 985-646-1117, just a salon number. But then if you're looking for hair extensions or the beaded topper or options to help put hair on people or the colorful strands, depending on where you're at in the world, we are yourextensions.com. So you'd go to the website, yourextensions.com, and or Google OnStage Hair Extensions. But now the OnStage is one word. OnStage, all one word, branded, right? OnStage Hair Extensions or She Hair Extensions. But you can find both of those at our website. That's just yourextensions.com.
Cool. Very, very cool. Do you have any advice for stylists who are just starting off, or maybe they've been in the industry for a while and they have some experience, but they don't have experience in dealing with women that are going through cancer treatments or are in remission? They want to become involved and they want to start providing services. What kind of advice can you give to those kind of stylists about how to start, where to start, why to start?
Yeah. So first, I think people think they have to know how to provide, sell, cut, fit wigs, and you don't. So you can start off by not even doing that. Just go to the cancer center and say, I'd like to be a salon that helps support for people going through cancer. How can I help? Start there. And you know what? That's a good question, Eddie, because you know what happens? Often they have this big basket or bin of free wigs. Now, they get them from people like us who just have old wigs that we can't sell anymore. People return them. And let me tell you the saddest thing of all. People die and they bring us their wigs. They bring us and they bring the cancer center and they say, my mom, my grandma had this wig. Can you use it? Is it sanitary? Should I throw it away? I'm like, yeah, we can sanitize it. We clean and sanitize it, and then we give it away. And so they have a lot of wigs already at the cancer center because they will give a wig, or they'll say, you can dig through that bin and you can have whatever you want. And they don't, and the average person doesn't know what to do with that. So if you're a hairdresser that has any knowledge of, I mean, it's so easy to put a wig on, but these doctors and nurses, they don't even care about putting a wig on. They're not helping people with wigs on. They're just saying, there it is. You can have them. People bring them to us all the time. We don't know what to do with them. So you can start there by just saying, I'm available. I'll do the head shaving or the cut or the style or whatever they need to help get through this, because I just want to help. Well, they will pick out their free wig from the cancer center and bring it over. And you know what? You might think, I don't know how to put a wig on. Come on, you've put a wig on for Halloween before. I know you have. And so it's that simple. It's that simple. The client sometimes just can't lift their arms. They just sometimes don't have the mental capacity to do it. And they might pick one out there. But you know what? If you could go there with them, grab a few out of this basket, it looks like a mess. And maybe it just needs to be shampooed and brushed and towel dried. And then you put it on them, and maybe it needs a cut, because synthetic hair will cut very similar to human hair. Sure, there's a few little tricks. You should texturize the ends a little, do some more point cutting so it's not so blunt on the ends. But other than that, you can put bangs on one that doesn't have bangs. You can shorten a long one. If they can find a color and it's longer, or at least as long, you can help them get into it. Then you don't need any wig training. You don't need to buy any wigs. You don't need to buy and sell wigs. You could just get started saying you're available to help with the free wigs that most of those cancer centers give away anyway.
That's great advice. That is really, really great advice. So yeah, and that's everything we're talking about. You know, it's just a matter of, can't stress enough. Don't just be aware that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Don't just be aware that cancer exists. Be active. Be active in your community. Be active in your salon. Be active in your neighborhood, amongst your family, amongst your friends. Go out there and make a difference, one person at a time. We really appreciate having you on with us.
Don't just be aware. Go and do the hair.
Go and do that's awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. All right. It was good being here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching.